This is a couple days after I made the initial video, and I've decided to hook this thing up. I was going to hook it up with what I have on hand. This whole thing was a little confusing because, unless I read this thing wrong, this thing's saying that it needs, no, I read it wrong. So at 110 volts, 220 volts, I can't make heads or tails out of this. One version it's saying 18 amps, the other version is saying 27.5 amp. And I was reading this, I think this was the output power once it's converted over. So I was under the impression this needed 50 amp service going to it. Regardless of what it said, I was going to use what I had on hand. Let me go over that. So this is 10 gauge wire that I picked up a long time ago from, you know, a welder time and time ago. I paid quite a bit of money for this bit of wire here for the power source. And I've gone through so many of these twist lock plugs. This is a 20 amp. The last version of this that I did was this, and I believe this one, that's a 30 amp. So most of these just have 10 gauge wire in here anyway that go to like this wire mold thing. So this was from another welder. This is all extra stuff I had from another welder that I had. This one came with this, which, looking at this, just this little body here, you know, the wire coming out of it is thinner. You know, which I get it, it's 110. So then I started looking at what plugs into this. This is the one that came with this welder from Amazon. I started looking at the power input here, which is this little guy, and you know, I was trying to make heads or tails of this because this says 6N50P. I don't know what all that means. It could just be a part number for what I'm holding, but does it say what's in here? There's 12, it says 12 AWGs, 12 American wire gauge. There's 12 gauge wire in this. Can this focus on that? I don't know. So there's 12 gauge wire in this leading to the machine. So what I did, this is 10 gauge wire. 10 gauge wire is good for 30 amps. And I didn't know which breaker I needed, so I just bought both of the ones Home Depot had. These are 30 amp breakers. I'm going to wire that into my panel with the 30 amp breaker. I'm going to come out of the wall into this box with these connectors, and I'm going to use blue wire nuts to this thing. Right, the connection is going to be there. I'm going to have this coming out of it, and that's how I'm going to make this work. So let me get started on that. This looks like a mess. I'll get it cleaned up here in a minute, but let's get started on that. I got Shop Kitty with me today. Her name is Miss Kate. Say hi to everybody, Miss Kate. Okay. All right, I'll be back in a minute. So my electrical panel is behind my toolbox here. The game plan is I put a hole here. I'm eventually going to put a commercial, you know, 4-square steel box here. But I'm going to run, right now I'm going to run my wire up. I'm going to knock one of these out, and it's this style break. So that's my new breaker. Oh, I got to knock these two tabs out in the cover. First time I've had this panel open. Everything looks like it's being used. All right, anyway, I'm going to knock this out, try to fish this wire through without touching that last bus right there, because that is live. And we'll get it going. Wish me luck. So this is the game plan. I got my little box. This is just wire nutted in here with big blue wire nuts. This is that end that I was using for something else. So this end's already terminated off. I don't have to worry about this. This end over here, on the other hand, I stripped this down, put my connector on it. These wires are as long as I'm going to need them in the panel. And then this hook right here goes up to my fiberglass rod for fishing. You know, that's all Home Depot stuff there. So I'm going to connect this end to this, pull it through, and then connect it to that breaker, and we should be good to go. So there it is, going in the wall. Little tip, so what I did, I shut this whole side of the panel off because I ran the ground wire to the ground bus, and I didn't want to accidentally touch one of the terminals that were on. So I'm about to flip all these on, and this is the one for the welder. The tip I'm about to give you is never stand here like looking at these while you do, because they could blow up in your face. What I always suggest, get around the corner here, and okay, that was the welder. It's on. Oh, you know what? This one I put in, I bought it for something else, and I just put it in to fill the spot. This doesn't go to nothing. But, there we go. Okay, I was hiding behind the shield. I had the camera around the door. This way, if it blew up, it would catch the camera in my hand. It wouldn't do anything to my face. Okay, so over here, I got one mess piled on top of another mess. So now I'll be able to plug this directly into here, and it's on. Let me set the camera down. Okay, that's it. We're plugged in. Okay, next step, I have to figure out how to use it. So let me read the manual some more.